If you're considering moving your growing family to Frederick, Maryland, then you're probably wondering what it's like living here with kids. Well, if that's you, then you're in the right place because in this video, I'm going to cover two of the top neighborhoods for families in Frederick, as well as what the city has to offer itself for young families. So let's just dive right into it. Hey everyone, my name is Eddie and I'm a realtor here in Maryland. And if this is your first time visiting the channel, thank you for being here. I've made it my mission to help people just like you determine the best places to move in Maryland. I give you the market updates, the top neighborhoods, and everything you should know before making a move here. And I just released my brand new relocation roadmap that you can download for free in the description below. So at the end of this video, make sure to click on that. And by doing that, you'll also be subscribed to my weekly insider email where I give you everything that's actually going on in the market in real time before it hits YouTube. So again, at the end of this video, make sure to click that button and get that free guide. Now, before we dive into the specifics, let's talk about why it's become so popular for families. Frederick has experienced the largest population growth of all areas in Maryland between July 1st, 2020 and July 1st, 2023. So it's obviously a very popular place for people to move to. And one of the biggest draws is its affordability when comparing it to places like DC or Arlington or Rockville. You also get a variety of housing options here from the historic downtown to brand new communities. So you have that vibrant downtown scene and you have the option of being in the quieter suburbs. And these perks are appealing to young families who are just starting out, maybe buying their first home or a move-up home. So let's talk about two family-friendly neighborhoods I think you should know about when you're considering moving to Frederick. And when we're talking about what is family-friendly, I'm going to run it through these questions as a filter. Do they have walkable streets and sidewalks? Are there parks in the community or nearby? Are there amenities in the community or nearby? The community culture, is it easy to meet other families? And do they have high public school ratings according to niche.com? And the first community that comes to mind that checks all of these boxes is the Villages of Urbana in Frederick, Maryland. Urbana is a massive neighborhood with over 13,000 residents on the very southern end of Frederick, Maryland. It sits right on I-270 and Route 355, which are both major commuter routes connecting Frederick to Washington, D.C. And niche.com ranks it as the #1 best place to live and raise a family in Frederick County, and the 9th best in the entire state of Maryland. So let's run Urbana through that family-friendly checklist that we just mentioned. Do they have walkable streets and sidewalks? Well, I'd say Urbana is probably the best of all of the neighborhoods in Frederick as far as walkability goes. There are sidewalks and walking paths intertwined throughout the entire community, all around the shopping centers, all around the amenities, through every single neighborhood. So of anywhere in the entire area, how about, are there parks in the community or nearby? There's not only a ton of local parks within the communities itself and local playgrounds, but there's also larger parks in Urbana like the Urbana Community Park and Urbana District Park, both of which are accessible by the sidewalks and walking paths and have sports fields, a skate park, playgrounds, and a ton of open space. And the next question is, are there amenities in the community or nearby? And the answer to that is definitely yes. You have so much within the HOA itself, as well as what's inside the Urbana footprint as a whole. The Villages of Urbana has 4 different community centers and pools to choose from, and these are really nice pools. You have Olympic swimming pools, a water park with slides, a lazy river, wading pools, and splash pads for kids. Then you have dozens and dozens of retail stores, restaurants, a giant grocery store, pretty much all of the conveniences that you need right in the community itself. And to top it off, one of the best amenities you have for young families right in Urbana is the Urbana Regional Library. This is run by Frederick County, but it's right in Urbana, and it was a part of the plans the whole time to have it in this development, and it's the only development like this in the Frederick area. And you also have 2 urgent cares right in the center of Urbana, as well as multiple doctor's offices as well. And if you don't have what you need right in Urbana, it's just a short drive up into Frederick where the majority of your appointments would be anyway. And if you need to go into Germantown, that's another 15 to 20 minutes to the south for pretty much everything you could possibly need. Now, how about the community culture in Urbana? Can you easily meet other families and make friends here? Well, because of the way the villages are laid out, they kind of have their own community culture within them. And because they're quieter streets where you can get out and walk around and your kids can walk around, it's so much easier to go and meet other families in Urbana versus some other areas in Frederick. And your kids have a lot of opportunities to meet other friends because of the proximity to the schools. Because they're all walking to school, everyone's meeting each other, everyone's on the same paths going to the middle school and the high school and the elementary school. So they have all those opportunities to meet new people. All right, and does Urbana have high public school ratings according to niche.com? And that's an absolute yes. It's an A+ according to niche.com. All of the schools in Urbana are highly rated, the public schools for sure, and that's why so many families choose to live here. That's actually their #1 criteria, is the schools, and that's what brings them to this neighborhood. But this isn't the only community here like this. There's also the Spring Ridge neighborhood of Frederick. Now, this has a slightly slower pace here, but definitely a stronger sense of community culture. It's located just on the east side of downtown Frederick and has a population of nearly 6,000 residents. It has very quick access to I-70, and it's just 10 minutes outside of downtown Frederick. So let's run the Spring Ridge community through our family-friendly questions. Do they have walkable streets and sidewalks? While it's much smaller than Urbana, there are a ton of sidewalks and walking paths in Spring Ridge. Now, you will find some cul-de-sacs and some sections that don't have it, but again, those streets are low traffic streets, so you wouldn't have a problem walking on the roadways if you had to, but the majority of the community is walkable, even to the shopping centers, just like Urbana. And the next question is, does it have parks in the community or nearby? And that's a yes as well. Spring Ridge does have its own recreation park inside the community, which has sports fields, tennis and basketball courts, and open spaces. And how about amenities in the community or nearby? And that's a yes as well. Spring Ridge has its own community center with 4 pools and a splash pad that's just a few years old now. And it's a very large community center with multiple pools, like I said. So there's a ton of space for families, and you don't feel like it's a crowded space where only a few people can actually get in the pool. It's actually really nice, really large, so everyone in the community can enjoy it. And Spring Ridge does have its own shopping center with a grocery store and a gym and some local places to eat. Not many, though. It's not going to be like Urbana. So if you're looking for places to go to eat, you're probably going to go into Frederick. You might even go into Urbana, but you're most likely not going to stick around Spring Ridge for dinner most nights. And how about the community culture? Is it easy to meet other families? And I would say this is an even better community than Urbana for that. Urbana can be pretty busy, and because there's so many people living in that area, it can kind of get rid of that small community feel, where Spring Ridge is the opposite. It's a much quieter community with a tighter knit culture, with more events going on. There's food truck days, there's more community events throughout the year. So you're going to have a much better time finding and meeting families and joining local groups and local events than you would in a place like Urbana. And how about the public schools? Do they have highly rated public schools according to niche.com? And that's a yes as well. They have A-rated schools in Spring Ridge according to niche.com. And they do have an elementary school right in the community. It's not like Urbana where they have the high school and middle school as well, but you do have the elementary school, and the kids that are in middle and high school are going to be taking the bus to school. Now, these communities pass that family-friendly test, if you want to call it that, but there are so many other communities in Frederick that are great for families. These are just 2 of the largest and most popular that people consider when moving here. And I'm happy to help you go through the full list of others. So make sure to send me a message if these don't seem like a good fit for you, or you just want other options. That's what I'm here for. All right, so now let's talk about what downtown Frederick itself has to offer. And I would say the downtown scene has more to do than almost any other town in Maryland. There's Carroll Creek Linear Park, where you can walk along the water, and there's restaurants and breweries there, and kids can run around on the paths on both sides. It's just a really cool place to go, and where a ton of the events in the city are. And then you also have Baker Park, which is a 58-acre park with a lake and a band shell where they have, or a amphitheater that they call the band shell, where you have a ton of events and concerts and just a ton of open space and courts and bocce ball, just a lot of things that kids can do in Baker Park. And then you have Market Street, where you can walk and check out the shops and get really great food. And it's just all of this tied together just right in downtown Frederick. So you're never really running out of things to do. Even if you go every single weekend of the year, you're not going to run out of activities in Frederick. And this is true for us. We live just outside of Frederick, and we go into Frederick all the time just to go walking around, just to walk to the bakehouse and pick up something on the weekends, or just to go grab a pizza or something right downtown. It's so easy to do that. You can park in a lot of locations on the outskirts of like Carroll Creek and Baker Park for free, and then walk into downtown really quickly. So it's just such an ideal place if you have kids and you're worried about parking and it being too busy. Frederick just solves all of those issues. And Frederick is also really close to the Appalachian Mountains. It's right at the start of the Appalachian Mountains. So you have so many parks nearby. You have Catoctin Mountain Park. You have Cunningham Falls with some great overlooks, some great views. You also have Gambrel Mountain right outside of town with some amazing views as well. You have, and because it's the Appalachians, you have some pretty easy hikes for kids. I mean, when our kids were really young, like our 2-year-old was doing a lot of the hikes on a lot of these trails. So to really great views as well. So if you want to get them outside and you want to get them involved in outdoor activities, there's just so many trails around for that. And you also have the Monocacy and Potomac rivers nearby. And a lot of these sections are very shallow, meaning that you can, throw a life jacket on them, go in with your kids, go into the river, actually swim around. You can go rafting and paddleboarding and kayaking right outside of Frederick. I mean, the Monocacy River runs right through the south side of Frederick. So there's a ton of things to do on the water here as well. And you can go fishing. So if you're looking for those outdoor activities, Frederick really has your family covered. But not everyone's always looking to go outside. There's also plenty of those indoor play centers here, like the Hyper Kids type of play centers. So if you're looking for something to do in wintertime and you don't want to go outside, you have those as well. And Frederick really has like all of the modern amenities. So even though it's the historic town, you can go and check out local restaurants, local coffee shops, take your kids downtown. There's also all of the modern amenities on the outside. You have your Walmart, your Target, Home Depot, Costco, Sam's Club, like all of the places you need to go for shopping, all of the community parks around Frederick in the county. There's so many places to go, and everything you need is right there. So that's why Frederick is drawing so many families from all over, because it just kind of touches on a little bit of everything. It's easily accessible. You can buy a house in so many different price ranges here, so many different styles, and it's drawing people from all over the country. So if that's you, if you're considering a move to Frederick for your young family, whether you already have a young family or you're planning on it in the future and you think it would be a good fit for you, please reach out to me. That's exactly what I'm here for, is to help you find a home here in Frederick or the surrounding areas. And the easiest way to do that is to go in the description below and click on the link to schedule a one-on-one consultation with me. We'll go over your move. We'll get a plan together to make it go as smoothly as possible. And whether it's 2 weeks away or 2 years away, it's never too soon to make that call. So again, go in the description, click on that link and schedule that call. And as always, if you like this video, make sure to like and subscribe so you stay up to date on all my videos about moving to Maryland.